escape in an inflatable lifeboat before fire consumed the boat. Brad Rogers from our sister station in Portland, Maine, has the story.
We stayed until we couldn't stay anymore.
This is the fishing vessel Three Girls being towed into Portland Harbor this afternoon, still burning from a fire at sea that forced the captain and crew to quickly abandon ship.
I ran downstairs and opened the engine room door and could see the flames and closed the doors and told the crew to get ready. We're leaving.
I remember looking at the inside the galley and seeing a glow and seeing the fire and looking at the water and being like, this is really happening. And all of a sudden the fire came out on deck.
Before abandoning ship, Captain Robbie Roberge was able to send a radio message to the Coast Guard telling them their position in the Gulf of Maine.
United States Coast Guard, United States Coast Guard. This is the fishing vessel Three Girls. We are on fire.
It was all I could do to get the one mayday call off.
He barely had time to make that distress call. The smoke filled the wheelhouse and he couldn't breathe. So what he got out, what people heard, we knew help was on the way.
The captain, four-man crew, and this observer from NOAA all safely made it onto this life raft. All but the captain were wearing survival suits.
These survival suits though, dude, I swam for a couple of minutes to get to the raft.
From a distance, they could see the burning boat.
They snap, crackle, and pop. We're all right, waiting on the helicopter.
They were rescued 2 hours later by a Coast Guard cutter out of Portland.
Robbie alive. Did it. No good, man.
Ames says the quick decisions made by Captain Roberge saved their lives.
If he chose to fight that fire, if we went down in that engine room, it wouldn't have been a happy story like it is right now. No way, no way.
The flames were big down there, and steel's replaceable, and humans are not.
And that was Brad Rogers reporting. The crew told him the boat is a total loss, but it is insured. The Coast Guard will lead the investigation into how that fire started.
5 people have now been charged in connection with Hollywood star Matthew Perry's death. Perry died from a ketamine overdose in October of last year. The suspects allegedly supplied him with large amounts of the drug. U.S. Attorney Martin Estrada says the defendants exploited Perry's addiction for personal gain and then tried to cover up their involvement.
This network included a live-in assistant, various go-betweens, 2 medical doctors, and a major source of drug supply known as, quote, the ketamine queen.
2 of the suspects, including one of those doctors, has been arrested. Both pleaded not guilty. Only one has been granted release.
Well, hi there, everybody. As we're heading into the weekend, we're watching for a chance for stormy skies, including near the ocean beaches. This is a picture from near El Waco, courtesy of Ryan Lamont. It looks like the storms are going to roll in on Saturday afternoon into Saturday night. We'll time them on the Futurecast coming up next. Well, hi there, everybody, and welcome back on a Thursday evening that's still nice and quiet and perfectly pleasant. It's been a while since we've had significant rainfall. Looks like that's all going to change in time for the weekend, no less. Saturday night into Sunday, big thunderstorms very likely rolling through. Plenty of lightning, heavy downpours, hail, locally gusty winds, and higher fire danger, too, because with the lightning over the Cascades and into eastern Washington, we, of course, get worried about sparking new wildfires. Lake Crescent, no sign of that yet. It's nice and quiet and calm there across the waterfront on the north end of the Olympic Peninsula. Hood Canal, from this vantage point, looking overcast. Around Brennan, we do have a small wildfire that's burning, so that's been something we've been seeing a lot of people talk about around Brennan and around Seebeck today. And then across the water span here between the Narrows and Gig Harbor, it's looking quite overcast tonight as well. Satellite and radar pictures showing it's clear offshore for now, and then in the interior over the Bitterroot Mountains, the thunderstorms continuing to roll across the Continental Divide and into western Montana. But a Futurecast showing that we're going to see thunderstorms of our own as we head into the weekend. So we've been watching these all week, but as we get closer, the model data gets more accurate and gets more sure of the timing. And it looks like these are now going to time out for about 48 hours from now on Saturday evening. You can see the timestamp here, 7:30 on Saturday. Look at these big thunderstorm cells rolling up the I-5 corridor through Clark County, lifting on into Lewis County as we head into the early part of the evening, and then pushing right through Seattle between 9 and 10 o'clock. Good timing in that this isn't smack dab in the middle of the afternoon. It seems like a lot of people have some outdoor plans, including some outdoor weddings that day. Hopefully these hold off until after dark. That's the way it's looking right now. They'll swing through the Strait of Juan de Fuca and then back out to sea as we head into Sunday morning. And they will be significant rainmakers as well coming through, going for nearly a half an inch of rain here between Kitsap and King County. Lighter amounts in eastern Washington, where the storms tend to be heavy on the lightning, but not so heavy in terms of precipitation. But just in case, the Weather Service has this flash flood watch in place for the eastern slopes of the Cascades in some of the recent burn scar areas. High temps across the northwest today, including the upper 70s from Portland, 85 out of Twin Falls, triple digits in Texas where it's hot and muggy. And there goes Ernesto, not likely getting anywhere close to the U.S. as it continues to churn into the Atlantic. But again, sending some big rip currents there toward the Atlantic seaboard. We'll see drier skies tomorrow, and so as we head into the overnight, peaks of the moon, beautiful overnight, temps dropping into the 50s, and then that fabulous Friday tomorrow. It's Saturday that we're more worried about, so we'll talk about that and have the extended forecast too just a couple of minutes from now.
And next at 6, Spotlight on America investigates safety issues with self-driving vehicles.
Despite millions of miles of successful road testing, why one expert says that doesn't provide the whole picture. We're back after this.
New at 6, getting where you need to go is becoming more high-tech every day. In a handful of cities, you can already take a robo-taxi with no driver. And testing for so-called autonomous vehicles on public roads is expanding fast.
So what does that mean for your safety? Spotlight on America correspondent Angie Moreski investigates.
The future is here. Driverless vehicles on America's roads, picking up passengers in robo-taxis and delivering goods in autonomous trucks.
What was once science fiction is now a reality.
Autonomous Vehicle Industry Association Executive Director Jeff Ferris says half of U.S. states have now passed laws welcoming autonomous vehicles. Truly driverless vehicles with no human observer are already operating in California, Nevada, Arizona, and Texas. We also know test vehicles are on the roads with backup human drivers in Michigan, Ohio, Pennsylvania, Massachusetts, and Arkansas.
How safe really are these vehicles that they're being tested on the public roads?
What we know from more than 70 million autonomous miles being driven on public roads is that autonomous vehicles are far safer than human-driven vehicles.
Farah calls the technology a game changer for safety. He cites several studies, including one by robotaxi company Waymo, that reported an 85% reduction in injury crashes compared to human drivers. He also sent us multiple videos showing autonomous vehicles avoiding crashes. But safety experts say that's not the full picture.
It has the potential to be safe, but what we're seeing is a lot of loose ends.
Phil Koopman is an international safety expert on autonomous vehicles, now a professor at Carnegie Mellon University. His research extends nearly 30 years. A frequent critic of the industry's safety claims, he calls them misleading.
Most of those 70 million miles had a safety driver. So if something goes wrong, there was a person to stop the bad thing from happening. The number of miles without a safety driver to intervene is much less.
Spotlight on America asked the AV Industry Association how many of those miles were driven without a human backup driver. But a spokesperson told us they didn't have that breakdown.
I got a unmanned vehicle that was kind of taken off from me. It's a Waymo car.
Several recent high-profile incidents have raised concerns.
Your car here drove into oncoming lanes of traffic.
Phoenix police body cam video shows a traffic stop in June after a Waymo robotaxi was spotted driving the wrong way in a construction zone. No one was injured there, but a pedestrian was seriously injured in an accident involving a GM Cruise robotaxi in San Francisco last October.
What are the limitations of this technology when on the roads?
It has no intelligence. It doesn't think like a person. It just is trained, and when it hits something it hasn't been trained on, it just guesses. And sometimes it's right, sometimes it's wrong.
Farah points out that humans are often wrong too, and insists the industry is making safety a priority. For Spotlight on America, I'm Angie Moreski.
Now, Spotlight on America did request interviews with both Waymo and Cruise. They both declined. However, GM did provide a statement. You can read it online. Just go to spotlightinvestigates.com and click on Angie's story.
Here's what we're working on tonight on Komo News at 11. A man is being held on $5 million bail now as Seattle police investigate the gruesome murder of a woman in the Olympic Hills neighborhood. Tonight, what we're learning from the charging documents.
1 minute he's okay, the next minute he's unconscious, and a little while later he's dead.
Oregon officials are now warning about bringing your pets into local waters after a dog died within hours of being in a river. Tonight, the water testing now underway and what to look out for before your pet jumps in. Those stories and more are coming up tonight on Komo News at 11.
All right, Shannon here now with a look at the extended forecast.
Yeah, it looks stormy right in the middle of the weekend, so we want to keep you on top of the quickly changing skies as we head into Saturday afternoon. If you have outdoor plans, especially on the water, it seems like we have a load of weddings happening too. Might want to have those tents ready to go, or even better, dodge indoors, because there's a great threat for lightning with these storms as they roll through too. So far, the timing looks to be Saturday evening. Seattle proper, the metro area, between about 7 and 9 o'clock. So thankfully, pretty late in the evening. Hopefully you get away with anything you want to do outdoors before that takes shape. But we've got the weather warn label up just to underscore the fact that these will be some pretty significant storms rolling on through. Heavy rain, hail, thunder, lightning, gusty winds calming down by Sunday. So that's the drier half of the weekend, and another chance for showers. We could use a few by the middle of next week.
Next at 6, Motor City misery. How the Mariners hit a new low for the season and what it means for their fading playoff hopes.
And now, the Komo Sports Desk with Nico Tamurian, presented by Xfinity.
Weak ground ball left side. That'll do it. Tell you what, if the Mariners don't make the playoffs, they're going to remember being swept here in Detroit and losing 5 out of 6 to the Tigers in the season.
Well, we certainly hope that prediction from the great Dave Sims does not come true. The point is still valid, though. The Mariners were flying high after sweeping the Mets last weekend. Now they face their largest deficit all season in the American League West. So I'm going to show you this walk from the first inning. I hate to say it this way, but it's because they allowed the Mariners to take a 1-0 lead on 4 straight walks, no hits required. That's a good thing because they only hit the ball once all day. Victor Robles there, and they certainly wasted a great effort from this guy, Bryce Miller. 7 innings, no runs allowed, 9 strikeouts. That should do the trick. And maybe for every other team it would. But for the Mariners offense, it is back to sleep. A 1-0 lead is lost in the 8th inning when Javi Baez gets a hold of one. That's going to happen in any given game, but unfortunately, it's the difference in this one. The Mariners lose 2-1, swept now by the Tigers. 3 games out of first place for the first time in this entire playoff race.
You can sit there and feel sorry for yourself, things like that. We have to be better offensively. Just don't no other way around it. You're just not going to win games in this league. 1 run, 2 run, 1 run, no matter how good you pitch. And our pitching has been awesome. It's been awesome all year. I can't say enough about our young starters, all of our guys. And Mooney's been really good.
Yeah, when you only score 1 run, just 1 mistake can make the difference. Now, the Seahawks are in joint practices in Tennessee, as we told you a few minutes ago. The idea here of practicing with the Titans, hitting somebody else. We all saw Tempers Flare last week at practice at VMAC with the Hawks. Geno Smith thinks there's plenty of benefit to it, especially here in the dog days of summer.
Just the competition, and being able to go against someone else, another team, getting that good, fun competition out here on the field. It's always great to, go against each other. You got, you got DK and Reek Woolen who compete against each other almost every day. And then you come out here and you see the difference, in cornerbacks and receivers and going up against different guys, seeing different looks.
And kickoff for the actual game it's building up to in Tennessee is set for 4 o'clock Saturday. We'll bring you the best plays on Komo News Saturday night.
Exciting. Thanks, Nico.
Yep.
We'll see you back here at 11 o'clock.
See you then.
Bye-bye.
We back, baby. Stop freaking. Call Beacon. Hey, wait. Stop freaking. Call Beacon.